Okay, so the footage we just saw are from this Ruko F11 Pro 2 camera drone, and you can see that the footage is actually pretty good. But should you be investing your money into the F11 Pro 2 as your first beginner camera drone? Well, let's actually just talk about the pros and cons of this particular one so you can weigh your option to see if this one is right for you. Let's get going. Alright, so let's actually start by talking about the pros. So the biggest pro or the compliment I can say to the F11 Pro 2 is ability to film in 4K 30 frames per second. As you can see from the footage, it's a huge advancement compared to the previous generation. And you are really able to use the footage, however, probably still social media grade level. But yeah, at least the footage is now usable. The second pro is coming along with the 4K ability. The Ruko F11 Pro 2 now comes with a 3-axis gimbal, so it's not EIS but actual machine gimbals. So the biggest difference between EIS and machine gimbals is that EIS is using the software to stabilize the footage in post-production, which often will require the scene to have sufficient lighting for the EIS to work properly. And when there isn't enough light source, EIS will literally just kill the footage and make it unusable because you're just going to see a lot of weird shakiness, this and that. So on the contrary, machine gimbals do not have that kind of requirement, since right now the stabilization is done by physically with the motors built in of the little gimbal. So this is a very big improvement. Next, besides the filming capability, the F11 Pro 2 now has a built-in GPS and remote ID module, which automatically will be remote ID compliant. And as the GPS function, you're getting the essential return to home function, which comes in very handy when you accidentally lost signal or just don't know where your drone went, and all you needed is just to press a button and the drone is going to come back to you. Also, the F11 Pro is another drone that does not require to do the vertical and horizontal turning prior of each flight to calibrate the GPS before taking off. So very good, because that's one of the things I hate about. If I had to do that on every flight, it's just very annoying. Next, another thing I really like about the F11 Pro is the battery. The battery has built-in USB-C charging capability, which you do not need a separate charger. You can just plug this in with almost any USB-C charger and the battery is just going to charge itself. And a big plus is that F11 Pro does come in 2 pieces of battery, which is a very good quantity as it allows you to just have enough flight time to complete most of the things you needed to done. Each battery you should give you about 35 minutes of flight time, which is an advertisement, and in the reality you should probably take 20% off that. So this should still be sufficient enough for most of the scenarios. Since we are now speaking about flights, let's talk about the performance. The F11 Pro is definitely one of the easier to fly beginner drones. Zero experience will be required to have fun directly right out of the box. The controls, everything are going to be just very easy. Alright, so now basically that wraps us up the pros of the Ruko 11 Pro 2. Now let's actually look at the cons, and a few of them are something that I just do not like, and I think it's something they are missing seriously. So let's talk about that. Alright, so the con number 1 is something I kind of really got a little bit disappointed, and it was just something like a careless mistake I believe they shouldn't be doing, is that since right now you have 4K filming ability, you should kind of let people set up the ability to at least adjust the filming parameters a little bit. So you cannot adjust the shutter speed, white balance, basically there's just nothing. All you can do is rely on the auto filming functions, which from time to time you're just going to see color shifting in the videos, and plus there is no ND filter designed for this drone, which also limits your filming capability, and you will often receive overexposed footage. This is something I just really wish Ruko can add in the software for future updates, because yeah, like this you are kind of wasting the goodwill of your 4K 30, you know. Alright, so the second con is actually on the remote. So the remote is actually not bad, and you do have pretty okay controls on most of your scenarios, but my biggest gripe is on the gimbals. The gimbals, you just cannot do very precise control. It's just kind of like an on-off switch. I think this is something they can definitely improve, because when you're trying to do slow cinematic movements, it's kind of like you just move it a little bit, it just doesn't move. But if you move it a little bit extra out there, the drone is just going to shoot itself out there, which is kind of like an on-off switch. It doesn't translate the speed perfectly. So I think this is something they can definitely improve on, because yeah, you're just putting 3-axis gimbal and 4K filming capabilities, but your control is just not there, which is just limiting your filming capability. And the biggest problem is that most of the time I like to do orbits, and this is just not letting me do it. It's basically impossible to aim correctly to the target, and the drone is either too fast or too slow. So this is something I think they can definitely improve on. This gimbal is just probably one of the biggest disappointment on this particular drone. And also, I did actually contact Roku and try to dig into the software to see if the rates of the gimbals are a possibility to adjust. So if the rates can be adjusted, probably this issue could be potentially fixed. But yeah, as you imagine, there is no this option. So something that I think they can do in the future to kind of make this a lot better. Okay, so basically these are going to be the two big cons of disappointment I have with the Roku 11 Pro 2. And with these two issues, the goodwill of the 3-axis gimbal and 4K filming capability is just kind of wasted. And if Roku is able to fix these two issues, the F11 Pro will be a much worthy drone to have in your fleet. It's going to boost itself out from the toy grade level. Currently, it's just probably still not there to be a hobby grade level. Also, because of these two issues, I do think that the Roku is a little bit overpriced, as at this level you could have spent a bit more to go on DJI directly, which should give you a much better overall experience. However, if you're just not looking for a filming machine but a practice drone to fly for fun or just gain experience on, or just give it to your kids and yeah, just not worry about damaging it, well then the Roku could make sense. Alright, so after hearing the pros and cons, I hope this can help you weed out the things that you probably wanted to know. And if you still like to check out the Roku 11 Pro, links are just going to be down below for your quick reference. Alright, so basically that wraps us up this video, and you like the things I'm doing and would like to support me, please help me like and subscribe this video so the algorithm likes me a little bit more. Alright, so I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.